Modifications. So, with modifications, one thing about doing small groups is that teachers need to group students to their level and skills you want to target. And so, what this means is that you might have to do this after assessment to see if the student kind of knows the skill, if they're excelling in the skill, or if they just need some practice. So, with modification, you might need to change or go back a few steps because students may not understand or comprehend the material that you are doing, and maybe because they need more help on the base or foundation of the lesson. So what I mean on the base of foundation or the foundation of the lesson is that we may be on one level of what we're doing. So we may need to go back a level. So in our case, if students are not able to write their own words and make them, it might be because they don't know their letters or sounds that they hear when they say the word. And so we need to go back to letter to sound identification, which will allow them to form words in a structure that will match. And so they're looking for the sound. And so a strategy that you can use to do this will be sound boxes, where each box will represent a letter to sound that then will help them form and make the words. So these are the things we will have in mind during our lesson. Okay, and so this is a good at in using it to prompt questions to assess students on their progress in the lesson. So this is some modifications that we would do to our lesson, and we would keep this in mind throughout our entire lesson. That if we see that students are struggling, we would have to go back, and we already know what to assess during that lesson. So our next thing would be conclusion. And so this entire lesson plan um is basically our anchor because it basically guides you on the way that you will be administrating the lesson and the limited time you may have with your group. Because this is a small group, a small guided group, you know that you might not have you know that you're not going to have all day with them as you would have with a whole group situation. So in most cases you might be with a group for 30 to 45 minutes, and you have to make the most in those 45 minutes. So that means that you have to have all your information outlined. So that's what the lesson plan consists of, as well as what you are going to do with the rest of the students, because you have to have the rest of the students doing something productive. And so this is basically what our lesson plan is doing and what we propose on doing when we actually do it. And so I do hope that you have listened and enjoyed our presentation today. And I'm just saying thank you. I know that my group mates will say thank you as well, but also in paying attention virtually as I couldn't make the presentation today. So thank you for understanding, and I hope you learned something out of our lesson plan, because I know in this class, all of our lesson plans are going to be different because we are learning, but that's what makes it better because we're all learning from each other. Thank you.